Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. This is my overgrown garden. Not much care has gone into here really for about 6 weeks. Before I left on vacation in July, I wanted this space to be turned into a pumpkin patch, and weeds were everywhere. In this bed right here, all over the place. Didn't have time to pull everything out, clean it up. But what I did do was remove the weeds out of this bed, and I dropped in my pumpkin seeds. Put them in, again, it was towards the end of June, maybe the first couple days of July. Knowing that I want them to grow, do their thing, but really ripen up for October. So I didn't want to start them much earlier. Now I can't even get in here. So I need to go through now that look at that little frog down there, pretty cool. This is what happens when you let things go. Very awesome, never seen that species in my garden before. I knew that I wanted to have the pumpkins, so I cleaned out the space, just got the seeds in, and my goal was to really, come in here weeks ago and get this under control, which I didn't. I also got them in here, and let's go take a look. I have a stake in here. So these actually went in on July 10th. Today is August 11th, 30 days worth of growth. I wanted to get them growing a little bit earlier towards the dates I said earlier, but the pumpkins are established. There's no disease. They're growing nicely. They've even worked their way. Oh no, I planted them in 3 spots. Look at that. Good for me. In this space, I just cleared out right here. I didn't even go through the whole bed. Dropped in the pumpkins. So I have to get in here, clean everything up, water the plants, feed the plants, spray the plants. Let me just show you how it's gonna look about an hour or 2 from now. Just wanted to cut in. This is 5 days after the video was made. Pumpkins look great. If you have a good eye, you can notice a good, probably 12 to even 18 inches worth of growth. Staying up on the watering. The leaves have not been pruned. I'll be talking about that. A lot of them came back. They're bigger. I mean, look at the massive size of the leaves. Putting into care now for your pumpkin patch will definitely pay off. A couple things. We'll talk about the pumpkins in a second. So I'm cleaning out, obviously, the weeds in this area, and I've cleaned out this whole space, maybe 30 minutes. What's left on the ground, I'm gonna chop down with a weed eater, just getting the bulk of the weeds out, and then I'll just pulverize everything. I'll probably actually mulch this area. Definitely gonna put leaves or grass clippings in here. Pumpkins, again, look good. Cool thing about pumpkins, and I've talked about this before, is they send out anchor roots. So I have 3 pumpkins growing in here. 1, 2, 3. Good to get fed, show you all that. But here's what's cool. Here's a squash bug. They send out roots. I've moved this plant that was going this way, and I'm gonna send it out here as I clean it up. The pumpkin will put roots out all along these areas where there are flowers. A lot of people don't know that. So they will be able to pull in moisture and nutrients from all over the garden. That's why I am a little bit late on this. They should have been going in the direction they needed to go already. Moving this turns all the leaves, they'll correct, there'll be some die off. But hitting these with the water-soluble fertilizer, mulching and watering is gonna be the key. Got in here, again, weed eater will clear this all out. The pumpkins are really fragile, and I am, again, several weeks, maybe a couple weeks behind from clearing this out and just setting these up in a way that there's no damage, but like right here, it bent. When I put that down, anywhere where there's a bend touching the ground, I'm just gonna mound it over with soil. It should grow roots, at least it will be okay. Again, you can see more of those anchor roots coming out. Bottom line is I wanted a pumpkin patch in here, was behind, knew I had to get the seeds in, I dropped the seeds in. So I have great plants. Plants are on track. They need a little bit of feeding and all that kind of stuff. But if you have a garden right now that's overgrown, you can tuck in your plants now, be it pumpkin, squash, zucchini, whatever. It's going to vary based on your zone. Dig out a space, put the seeds in, and then get to the cleanup later as the plants are growing. This is actually day 2. Thunderstorms rolled in yesterday, so I had to stop. You get the idea. Everything has now been cleaned up. Weed eater knocked stuff back, hand pulled everything. Pumpkins in here look great. This is where they get the most sun, and you can see how good they're doing. Next, place with the most sun. A little bit less is right over there. And then the area in here is a bit of shade. So next year my pumpkins will go right into here. I'll use that bed for something different. So now that we're at this point, I am going to put down shredded hardwood to smother the weeds, keep the moisture in for the pumpkins. That's something you want to do, you know, about this stage a little bit earlier. And then I'm going to use the bag topsoil, any brand of topsoil. Cheap is fine. It's fine if it has wood particles in it. You know, typically I'm against that, but that's more for transplants. We're going to use the topsoil to cover the joints of the pumpkin plants. I'm going to lay these down so that you can see that the root right there, the white, you know, coarse piece of hair coming out almost, will get pushed over onto the ground. It will root out. It will supply energy to the plant, just another root system. That's how you get your pumpkins to really produce and catch up, use the rest of the heat here in August. All right, let me set up a couple of beds. There's no perfection in putting down the mulch. The mulch will definitely keep moisture in. The vine here starts right here. That's where I put in the seeds. And it's actually anchored right here. I can't lift it up. And a little bit down there. Don't pull up a vine that already has the roots going into the ground. Just push the mulch up to it and leave the vine showing. There's no need to cover over it. Let leaves come out, let flowers come out. It already has the anchor, so you're not worried about that. Where there's vine, like this vine was down, not anchored, and I want to move it anyway so that it goes in a different place, just drop the mulch down, and you're going to drop the plant down in the easiest way possible. That you're gonna have to move the leaves. Leaves are gonna get beat up. The plant will correct. At this point, don't cut the leaves off. Just let them stay, even if they get bent, crushed, whatever. You don't want to put extra stress on these plants. We're already moving them around. So there's a split right here. So what I'd want to do for this guy is to try and turn it so that I can weight it down. And I will weight this down. Even you could use a brick or anything, really. Keep it down. I'm going to put some of that topsoil on there so that the roots grow out of this area. Just let it sit after that. Let the plant grow leaves, and then, you know, you can prune them out over the next 7 to 10 days, however you want to do it. But we're going to finish this process, treat for future pests, disease, feed them. They've already been watered with the big rain, but I'll show you how to do that also. But I'm just going to go through and kind of move the vines around and get them in a general shape and direction that I want them to go. This pumpkin plant has a split stem. Actually just saw an insect crawl along there. If you see the split, and this one's kind of dry, I don't think there's really an infestation, but you could hit it with any insect dust before you do this, kill off any insects that might be there. But because there's a split, it makes the plant vulnerable, and because pumpkins so easily root out, I'm going to just take my topsoil, and this is a good quality topsoil. There's no woody product in there. And I'm just going to mound up around this whole stem before I put down the mulch. Press it in a little bit. You know, remove some of the leaves at this point. Again, you don't have to go and remove all the damaged leaves. Just let them be, generally speaking. But because we're doing a repair here, I got the mound up, and then I'm just going to put the mulch around it and let it go. And that pumpkin will heal itself and continue to grow. Here's another damaged area, and it's right there. There's a bend, and you can see how fragile it is. I don't want to move it around too much. So I move the vine so that it's going to be touching the ground, and I'm just going to mound over it, press it down, let it go, let it heal. Here's one of the joints. The joint where the flower comes out is where the roots usually come out from. So I'm also going to press that down, put some soil around that. That will secure the vine down there. New roots will grow, and this pumpkin will thrive. All the pumpkin plants have been mulched, at least their bed where I started them as seeds. Put the mulch down. This bed will get some care later. So will other parts of the garden. The pumpkins here are getting to a good size, but there's no need to water the entire vine at this point. Later when they get bigger, and I will link a video that I just did on growing watermelons, you care for them the same way, the watermelons, the pumpkins, the cantaloupe. And in that video, the watermelon plants are quite large, 12 feet long, they have watermelon on there, and there's a little bit of a different way to water. So at this point, the plants have been moved a lot. Leaves are beat up. Don't remove the leaves, that'll just cause stress. Let them do their thing, let the leaves die off, new leaves will come. But in order to support the plants, we're gonna give them a bunch of nitrogen. This is a 2-gallon watering container. I'm using AgroThrive. I'm affiliated with them and highly recommend them. Check out the video description. Great organic water soluble. Water soluble means this plant will be able to use the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other nutrients right away. And let's get that on the screen. Just want to show you, this is 2 gallons in this little space, and I am just going to give them a big drink, probably 1.5 gallons right in here. This will ensure the plants have all the nitrogen they need to take off and get growing. Before you put down insect dusts or any kind of treatment, you want to water and feed first, let everything dry. Now watering is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to do a full watering just so you have an idea of how much water to give them. Always get questions on how much water should I give my plants, how often. You want to keep these moist. So, and it doesn't really matter with pumpkins this size and stuff in the ground if you do the watering first or the water-soluble fertilizer first. But you really want to soak in the main root area. And again, there's 3 plants planted right in here. And I just want to show you the amount of water that's going in. As these plants get bigger, you're going to want to make sure you water down the whole vine and you get to water the places where they've set out those anchor roots. That's going to make a huge difference. You also want to feed those areas. But again, that's not for a while, maybe in 2 weeks when these plants grow some more. But you don't want to be shy on the watering. The biggest difference between having a garden that, survives and produces, or thrives and produces in excess, is the amount of water we give the plants. There's this great fear that you can overwater and kill your plants, and it's possible. It's really hard to do. If your containers have drainage holes and you have somewhat decent soil, it's all going to drain. If your earth beds like this one drains decently, it's really hard to overwater. But we're approaching the point now where this is enough water in the main root system for what I consider a good deep watering. Maybe another 30 seconds, another minute after this. But you get the idea. That's plenty of water. And with pumpkins this size, right now we have 90-degree heat, 95-degree heat. You really want to do this, I think, every second day, water, skip a day, water again, or every third day, water, skip 2 days and water. Don't go skimping on the water because the plants really need it. And they're going to get massive. Water is the only way for them to pull in nutrients. Without ample water, the plants just kind of hang out and survive, but you want them to thrive. The next thing is spraying. Here in Maryland, we get powdery mildew, rolls in on a lot of the plants, zucchini, squash, pumpkins, melons, cantaloupe, all those plants, somewhere around the end of July through August. It's the right conditions. So you definitely want to spray. You can pick any spray that you want. Doesn't matter, organic, chemical type, whatever you're comfortable with. And the first thing you want to do is just coat everything that the spray will get from the top. Just soak it down. It's not really the spray that you pick, it's more important that you stick to a routine. And that's about, really, I think about spraying every 10 to 14 days. And just ensuring if it rains, you get the antifungal back on there. So first thing we did was just cover the tops of everything. And then you want to come in and spray the undersides of the leaves. Take some time to do it right. Spraying the undersides will last longer through the rains. So sometimes if you just have to do a touch-up or something like that, because you get a heavy rain, you can just come in and spray the top. But again, you can pick any antifungal that you're comfortable with, and you just want to stick to a regular spraying routine. Every 10 days, 14 days, if you use some of the chemical sprays, sometimes you can wait 3 weeks or 4 weeks because they're waterproof. It's really up to you. But get the antifungal down. Final step, let this dry. And I'm going to actually put down some insect dust on the outer leaves and on the stems right at the base where the plant is growing to manage any potential insects. Cucumber beetles sometimes come out here, squash bugs, other insects. I'm not going to be putting dust on the areas where the flowers are. You want to avoid that so that you don't kill off the beneficial insects. And finally, dusting for insects. You can go organic, you can go chemical, whatever you want to do. Spinosad under Captain Jack's is organic. It's a dust. You sprinkle it on the leaves. All chemicals, organic, otherwise kill good and bad insects. So you have to be responsible with it. Put the dust on a couple of leaves away from the flowers. Beetles will crawl through that. I like putting some of the dust right down on the stem. And you can see how I just put the dust around here. There aren't a lot of flowers out yet, so you know the chances of harming good stuff is minimal, but you're always going to have, you know, some of the good going with the bad. If I don't use the insect dust, there's a good chance sometimes of the vine borer or cucumber beetles or related beetles, harlequin bugs, getting in here and causing issues. There are no flowers on here. Covered the stem, the leaves. If you are really concerned, you could do this at night, rinse it off during the day, early morning before the pollinators come around. So the pumpkin patch is set up. Now, ongoing care. Please subscribe and follow me. I'll show you how I take care of this patch for the rest of 2026. Here technically is the after. You saw what it was like in the beginning. Didn't have a lot of time, so I did clear out a space, dropped in the seeds, and then I got to weeding later, a little bit later than I should. But this pumpkin patch is going to be great. 3 pumpkins in here, 3 pumpkins over there, 1 over there. Maybe too many. This whole space is going to fill up with pumpkins. It'll be the pumpkin patch for my grandson, Austin. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. I sell tomato and pepper seeds, $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are only $1.50. And again, thanks so much for watching.